Civil War is a 2024 dystopian thriller written and directed by Alex Garland and stars Kirsten Dunst. Let's take a look. Hey there guys, thank you so much for coming to CinemasterPiece. My name is Eric Ortiz. Before we get started, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. I super appreciate it. Thank you so much. Civil War. Full disclosure, this review has actually been requested by a friend of mine. So yeah, let's do this. You know who you are, dude. Here you go. Civil War, we find the country basically at war with itself. There's some people that like the president, some people that don't. There are parts of the military that are disagreeing with the way the government's being ran, and we find Kirsten Dunst's character, a photojournalist, pretty much capturing everything that's going on and just seeing the United States go into this gradual state of chaos and just Armageddon. And in terms of plot, I think that's pretty much all you need to know going into it. The country's fractured, and we follow these journalists as they try to get to DC to see the president and pretty much interview him to get the truth as to why the country is so fractured and who's really at fault for it. And outside of that, it becomes pretty much a road movie, and you get to see these different states across the country and how they treat the journalists and what kind of conflicts that they're in amongst other Americans, which is kind of terrifying. In terms of the directing, Alex Garland does an amazing job setting the tone. This version of the United States is terrifying, primarily because the United States is not united. Everything just has this sense of dread and danger, and his directing is very almost laid back. It kind of reminded me a lot of Oliver Stone, not as flashy as Oliver Stone, but Oliver Stone doing JFK or something like Nixon, where it's almost like he's just like sitting back and observing people trying to figure things out. So you'll feel very connected to the circumstances, to what we're experiencing, even though other elements of the movie just kind of don't work as well as they should. The acting overall is really solid. Kirsten Dunst is actually great. You see her going through this journey of almost like a wounded soldier. She's seen so many horrible things that it kind of breaks her spirit. That said, a lot of the other characters I just kind of didn't care for. Performance-wise, there's nothing here that really stands out as much as I kind of wanted it to. That said, the acting isn't bad, it's just not extraordinary. In terms of production value, the movie didn't feel as big as I was anticipating. In many ways, it's almost like a bait and switch. We're not really part of the Civil War, we're seeing the Civil War from afar. It does have some set pieces that demonstrate that here and there, especially towards the end. But don't expect to walk into this and get a wall-to-wall action movie like what's the Chuck Norris's Invasion USA or something like that. This isn't that type of a film. This is more or less a drama that has action happening in the background. And I'll also say, in terms of what the movie's trying to say, the premise of this film is infinitely more interesting than the movie itself. I was a bit let down by this movie, to be perfectly honest with you. Did I expect more action? Yeah, but I kind of expected it to commit one way or the other, or give me more details as to who the people within the war actually are, not have me follow these journalists just to get a sense of what's going on. As much as I wanted to like Civil War, I almost didn't. So I would pretty much classify it as interesting because the premise is an interesting premise and the potential was always there, but the movie just never sticks the landing, at least not to the expectations that I was hoping it would. It had its chances. I don't want to give too much of it away, but I will say there are some beats, one in particular, that the characters do something so monumentally stupid that it just feels as if, oh, this scene only exists to give us this scene over here. And as just a fan of movies, I really don't like it when they do that. It feels cheap, it feels lazy, it feels unnecessary. It takes away from the actual drama that we're experiencing. And yeah, that's my take on Civil War. Terrifying and very interesting premise. Okay film-ish. But we can all agree on one thing. This is absolutely what would happen to the United States of America if we get a second term from President. You don't know? Guys, thank you again for watching Cinema Bear. I will see you for the next one. Take care.